Alright, kids, the night is still young, and Datamines are finally here, courtesy of Gengar and Tsukasa, of course. So we got the stats for the new characters, we got the artwork and all that, got the Tempest trial seals and inheritances and new skills and all the good stuff. And we also have a spoiler that I was not expecting, which we'll save the spoiler all the way to the end, but yeah, the new Tempest trial final boss. I was not expecting that at all. So why don't we go ahead and start off with these stats here for these guys. So all the way over here, we've got Freya. Let me see if we can make this a little bigger. All right, yeah, that's perfect. So parallel hearts, Freya and Aer. So we got here 40 HP, 47 attack, 49 speed with a super boon, 30 defense, and 28 res. Grand total BST of 194. Irrelevant because they are a duo, so they're going to have an increased BST anyway. Now, on paper, they actually seem pretty solid. They have a new special called Comet, which is inheritable to mages and melee units alike for some reason. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting special. 5-hit cooldown, which right now, any high-cost special that's actually good is certainly something you want to use because we've got a lot of skills that scale off of how much special cooldown you've got. Especially the Emblem rings, too. All of them scale damage based on how high your cooldown cost is. So the higher cooldown specials are just going to hit way harder. So that's definitely a plus. The only thing I'm disappointed by with them is their duo button. I feel like that has no excuse for being what it is. They only nullify 2 bonuses on the active bonus list of the enemies in 5 columns and 5 rows centered on them. Whereas Duo Thor just turns off all the bonuses. Why? Like, what is it about Thor and Loki that they're allowed to turn off all the enemies' bonuses? Why can't Freya? And it would have been acceptable if Freya's duo button is multi-turn usage. Like, if it reactivates every 3rd turn or every other turn or whatever. But no, it's a one and done. And it only turns off 2 bonuses? Come on, man. They certainly could have did Freya a little bit more justice, but I will say I love her outfit, though. Seeing a, like, Dracula-style Freya, that is so up my alley. Okay, but anyway, there we go from Freya. So next up, we've got Nerus, who seems like an okay unit. I don't know if I want to go any further than okay. She does give drive potent, potentially even potent 100, but like, other than that, and then she does have reflect damage, which you can stack with reflex, and she could probably take advantage of that, too. She can also get range from the new Uma Lin, so that could be interesting, too. Like, there's a lot of things you could do with Nerus that could be cool. I'm just not too sure if what she's doing is any crazier than anything we've already seen. So 40 HP, 47 attack, 48 speed with a super boon, 42 defense with a super boon, 18 res, and then 195 BST. Yeah, not really much to say. She does have that new C skill, though, as fodder, which is pretty cool. I already forgot the name of it, but it's a pretty nice buffing C skill, and it's got a lot of damage on it, so that could be nice. All right, then we have Pumpkin Pie over here, Pion. Now, she seems like a dancer on par with that Bunny Plumeria. The one difference is that unit has a duo button and this one doesn't. But other than that, I mean, she's got reflex support on her dance. She's still re-upping Kanto. She can fly. She hits exposure on her drive buff and on her B skill. So, seems like a pretty nice dancer here. We got 38 HP, 42 attack, 48 speed with a boon, 23 defense with a boon, and then 28 res. Overall BST is 179. Nowhere near high enough for scoring for Arena, but that's not what you would run this unit for. You would just run her as a Aether Raid's offense dancer, pretty much. Or if you're running her in Arena Assault, I guess you could run her in there. So, yeah, pretty good. I have no complaints with this unit whatsoever. Next up, we have Skrimir, who is... I was wondering when they were going to drop this guy. Not just him, either, but all the other lions from Tellius. Like, where is Gifka? And how is it possible that we've only had one Canegus? I don't understand. Do you guys have any idea how important they were maybe not so much in Radiant Dawn. Gifka was pretty important in Radiant Dawn, and Kanegas too. Well, not Radiant Dawn, in Path of Radiance. Kanegas is only playable in Radiant Dawn, but he's real important in Path of Radiance. So, I don't understand. Like, why is it only Tibarn and Naysala that get alts? What about the Lions, man? What about them? And they are by far my favorite class from all the Lagoos from the Tellius games. So, Skrimir out here with 52 HP with a Super Boon, 48 attack, 21 speed, 49 defense, 41 res, 211 BST. That's pretty good for a banner demote. He's not going to be the easiest to get merges on, though, because he's seasonal. But he is still a 4-star. So you could feasibly get him to +10, I guess. It will take orb investment, but for 4 stars, I believe it's roughly like anywhere from 200 orbs to like 500 orbs, depending on your luck. If you're pushing past 500, which isn't entirely unfeasible, you're getting a little unlucky, but at the same time, it is an easier +10 than a 5-star. So he's going to be a green beast armor type. He comes with Wily Fighter 4 as well, by the way. Pretty good demote skill there. So yeah, I don't really have any complaints about this guy. He's pretty good for a demote for sure. And then finally we got Ranulf, who has gotten his first alt ever. I don't know why his weapon symbol is all the way up there, but he is a blue beast cavalry type. So 41 HP, 46 attack, 48 speed with a super boon, 36 defense, and then 24 res with a super boon. 195 BST overall. Would have been nice if he had 196, so he could score in the 200 bin, but maybe that's asking a little too much. But then again, is it really? Because they have no problems giving us high-scoring free-to-play units nowadays. So I feel like they could have been generous enough to give him one more point there. So how good is this guy going to be as a merge project? Well, we can go ahead and take a look at his kit, and we can find out. All right, so yeah, all that stuff is spoilers. We'll take a look at that in a moment. So, okay, all that stuff is there. Okay, so the Tempest Trial seals, we're getting Speed and Res Snag, and then Counter Roar. Counter Roar is a pretty interesting one. Like, that's an interesting seal for sure. I'm kind of surprised we're getting that as a seal. It's one of those passives that wasn't really that great as a passive, but as a Sacred Seal, it could actually be pretty fire. Similar to Blade Session, right? Like, Blade Session wasn't really the greatest passive, but as a Sacred Seal, it's really good. So, Counter Roar, I feel like, is in that same category. So that's definitely a nice one to get there. Would have liked Distant Counter Beasts as well, considering this is the Beast banner, pretty much. Alright, here is what we wanted to take a look at. Weapons and skills for Ranulf in particular. Nocturnal Fang, 14 might and 1 range. Canto Rem +1 with a minute 2. -1 special trigger. For allies in 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit, grants attack and speed up 5. Ally deals +7 damage. Reduce damage from foes' attacks by 7. And neutralize guard on ally during combat. So, he's got a drive, true damage effect, true DR effect, and stat bonus for allies. Okay. Alright, then also, if unit is transformed or a unit's HP is over 25% at the start of combat, grants a bonus to all stats equal to the number of allies in 3 rows of 3 columns centered on unit times 3 + 5 with a max of 14. Deals damage equal to 20% of unit speed. Reduce damage from foes' attacks by 20% of unit speed. And neutralize effects that inflict guard on unit during combat. And also, if decreasing the speed difference necessary to make a follow-up attack by 25 would allow unit to trigger a follow-up attack, then you get potent X%. Not potent 100, unfortunately. Only up to 80. Okay. And then he has the Cavalry Beast transformation, pretty much. So, is this guy a worthwhile merge project? He seems okay. He kind of reminds me a little bit of the Baby Xander and the quote-unquote Fallen Fafnir. Because, like, the main thing about them that's good is that they've got the drive 3-column and 3-row buff or debuff. And this guy has that as well. He has probably a better one than both of them. And then his weapon is pretty solid too. So he's probably better than those two units. But I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah, he is worthy of building, though. He's worthwhile to get to +10. Okay, we have Astra as his special. Beast Agility 3. Okay, that's cool for a Tempest trial. And Speed Tactic, that's whatever for a Tempest trial. Wily Fighter 4 at 5-star. Wouldn't have expected any different there. And then Attack and Defense Far Save 3 at 4-star. We gotten to the point now where we can get save skills on 4 stars. Even though, yeah, we have power crept save skills by this point. But still pretty cool to see. Okay, and then I believe all that's left now is the spoiler stuff, which we'll save that for the very end so people who don't want to get spoiled can leave. But we'll take a look at the artwork now. So, Pumpkin Patch over here. Is that a ghost bell that she's holding there? Or I guess it's a lantern because her weapon is Ghost Lantern or whatever it's called. Okay. And then she's hugging. I don't like seeing the animals get beat up. Or like the stuffed animals or the plush. Like the spider plushie. Remember that one from the Sophia? How he was getting beat up. It's always a sad day when the stuffed animals are getting beat up. Okay, so we have here Lady of the Night Freya. And then I guess Freya's a devil and then Aether is an angel. Is that the concept here? Oh, she's got, like, stained glass. Looking like Miriam from Bloodstained? What? Okay. And then, of course, Freya's got to have her King Freyr plushie there in the background. Or no, that's Aether, actually. She's got a... It's a balloon. It's a King Freyr balloon. Huh. Well, that's different. Alright, nice special attack there. And then finally the injured artwork. Yeah, not really much to say. It's pretty good. Okay, so moving on to Nerthuz over here. I don't know why this character gets so many alts, by the way. Like, was she really that popular? I get that she was cool, but was she, like, so popular to warrant getting 50 alts? I don't know. I feel like anytime they dip into, like, the GOAT characters, it's always Nerthuz for some reason. Alright, there is her special art, and then finally the injured art. Alright, whatever. The cookies are getting beat up this time. Alright, then we got this dude over here, Lion Man. So, Skrimir with a big... what is that even? What kind of animal makes a drumstick like that? What is bro eating there? Alright, so attacking artwork. Special attack art. And then the injured artwork. Pretty simple, but I mean, very happy to finally get this dude in the game. Alright, and then Ranulf over here. Ranulf looking like Alucard, kinda. He's got the cape to show for it. Alright, attacking artwork. Pretty good. I guess he's a pirate. Yeah, he's got a hook for a hand. Yeah, you guys ever seen that horror movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer? Where the killer's weapon was a freaking fish hook? Like, what an ineffective weapon. That's kind of what this reminds me of. I just recently rewatched that movie. It was on TV the other day. That's a blast from the past movie. Maybe you should check it out for Halloween if you've never seen it. It's like those dumb 90s horror movies like Scream, where they're getting chased by the slasher and he's like so dumb. He's getting like tripped up and like beat up. It's like played up for comedic effect more so than it is for like horror. But yeah, there we go for Ranulf. And now finally, the spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then see you around. Bye-bye. Ta-ta. But if you want to be spoiled, here you go. So, Sharena is going to be the Tempest Trial character. She's going to be the boss on the new map. And might I say, this is like the year of Sharena. Look at Mighty Fine there, Sharena. Yeah, so she's got a shield. She's got a big lance. Looking like an armored unit, I would imagine. Maybe she's going to be the next Entwined hero. Alright, let's take a look at her stuff, and then we'll figure it out. Because she's got her kit, her stats, and all that stuff. Okay, so Asya of Asker, I guess that's how you say that. So she's a cavalry lance type, and then her stats right here, 64 HP, 74 attack, 59 speed, 45 defense, 30 res. Take that with a grain of salt, because these are final boss stats. And then her weapon... Wow. That is a lot of words there, Sharena. Okay, so 16 might, 1 range, -1 special trigger. If unit initiates combat or is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants a bonus to all stats, equal to the number of allies in 3 rows of 3 columns, centered on unit times 3 plus 5, with a max of 14. Neutralize foes' bonuses to speed and defense. Unit deals plus X times 5 damage. X is the number of bonuses on unit and foe, with a max of 5. Reduce damage from foes' attacks by X times 3, and also if decreasing the speed difference necessary to make a follow-up attack by 10 would allow unit to trigger a follow-up. Then you get Potent 100 during combat. Alright, also if unit support partner or ally within 3 spaces of unit initiates combat, grants another action to that ally after combat. We're doing this again? Okay, so Brave Sharena is back at it again. If a skill belonging to that ally triggers an effect that grants them another action, such as Gale Force, this effect is not treated as having triggered. Or is treated as not having triggered. If a skill not belonging to that ally triggers an effect that grants that ally another action at the same time as this effect is also considered to have been triggered. So that would be if you have Brave Sharena and this Sharena on the same team, and they're both within 3 spaces and the ally attacks, both of the Sharena effects would be burnt at that time. So if you're going to run her on the same team as Brave Sharena or Bride Sharena even, make sure you're aware of that. Okay, and then once per turn within 3 spaces is calculated based on the position of after triggering post-combat skill effects. And then they explain Potent 100. So I'm imagining she's probably going to have some kind of preference passive, probably in the B skill, considering they gave her a gold border A and C. So her B skill would probably give her the extra action, just like Brave Sharena, so she can give allies bonus actions and give herself a bonus action as well. Well, that's the only way that it would make sense. And then this one can run Gale Force Mist, which the Brave Sharena can't, so that could be nice. So, yeah, pretty good. Nothing really too bad to say about this Sharena. Her artwork looks really good, too. I like that. So, that's going to wrap us up for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And I will catch y'all again on the flip side.